Okay, Chutes and Ladders. I think I accidentally killed my stream. Doing a little bit of grind. I think I'll do a little bit more of a art. Okay. Let me. I think I accidentally killed my stream, so I'm going to be checking my stuff out right now before I do anything. Okay. So we're just gonna change the visibility. That one's to private. Yep. Okay. Okay. Okay, that one's private now, so you guys shouldn't be able to see that one. Okay, there you go. Hopefully this is like actually working instead of like my YouTube just going kaput. So, I've been kind of dealing with a lot, and I just kind of need to just kind of make this for my own mental sake. Because I don't have a therapist, and I probably should get a therapist, but, I don't know. And I know it's like 7 in the morning, so I doubt anyone's gonna see this, and that's okay. Like I said, this is just for me, so, I'm not gonna have anyone join call or anything. I kind of need this to be like a low energy type stream, if that makes sense. And I guess I'm not sure what I was gonna say. I do need to work on like commissions and shit, but I'm kind of just tired. So I guess disclaimers before I do anything in this stream. I'm kind of just gonna be talking about a lot of like stuff that's going on and right now. Um, I was originally gonna make like a full video. I think I still will, where I talk about my experiences and stuff and where I work. This stream is gonna be like unlisted. It's only gonna be like accessible through my Discord. Um, and that's the only way you guys can like watch and see what I talk about here. But okay, this person wanted like pinks. Honestly, I should just be evil, not give anybody any options to like pick anything anymore, cuz I'm genuinely kind of struggling with like drawing stuff for people. But yeah, that's okay. I think a lot of it is just having to come down to like I need to stop doing art trades. I don't actually like doing art trades. That's like a rant of its own. And a lot of it has to come down with people not finishing their end of an art trade, and then I finish mine way too quickly. So then I just get demotivated to do anymore. But I feel like that's a very common issue that a lot of people have with art trades. For me, it's like it's almost intense sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but I mean, it's fine. It's fine, I guess. Like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna finish the coloring and then just send it off and ask if the person wants to pay for it or not. And if not, that's fine. I'll just put it up for adopt again. Um, but okay, back to what I was going to say. Okay, yeah. So I kind of woke up and I was just I'm just so stressed, y'all. I'm so stressed all the time. I don't think I ever have a moment where I'm not stressed, and it's bad. It's like it's really bad now. Um, because like goodness gracious, it's like I'm so stressed with my real life, and I feel like I can't really talk to anybody about it because it's like personal family stuff, and it's and whenever I try to talk to my partner, I mean I do talk to my partner about it. He just is like, I don't know what I can do, and I'm sorry, and it's like, it's fine, it's not your fault. I just feel like I have a dysfunctional family, and I'm not even home. I'm like away. I'm not even in the state where my family is right now, but I feel like it's always something, and I'm so stressed about it, and I really shouldn't be stressed about it. Like I should just be dealing with my own thing, but I feel like it's weird because I feel like I'm gonna be kicked to the curb anytime soon, and it's genuinely a horrible feeling. Um, and it just it really sucks as like an autistic person as well. And I'm not trying to bring up like I always feel bad whenever I bring up like that I'm autistic and that I and I think only more than ever I realize like I'm disabled when it comes to like my work and my job. Like I can't do anything consistently. I can't take on commissions or do certain things, and I think it bothers me because a lot of people want to do like art trades with me and stuff. Because we live in such a shit ass economy that like we can't like I would love to do trades, but I need money so I can like afford to fucking buy food or like, you know, like go hang out with my friends and shit. And that's a different whole other rant. Like the friend tax is insane because if you want to do anything, it's like spaces don't really exist anymore and everything is all consumer based. Um and that drives me up a damn wall. But I can't even get into that. But I just okay. So I guess my rant is just gonna be like kind of all over the place because I genuinely don't even know where to start. Um, because a little bit of it is like my family, and then another bit of it is just the economy, and then yeah. So I guess I ranted on Twitter basically, just kind of saying I just don't feel like I'm being prioritized by people. And this is kind of a feeling that I've been getting recently. It's more like, um, and it's not. I think I I pinpointed it really well with like just kind of points of stress from like I think a lot of it is like feelings with my family members, um and then it started to and then it it just kind of showed up a lot more in other aspects of my life. So like just kind of everywhere in my life. I feel like and to be fair, it could just be of my own making. It could be my fault for why I feel like I'm always like the afterthought or second. I don't feel like people in my life prioritize me. And it's a selfish want, honestly, for me to ask. And um like for example, I'm gonna start with something kind of less intense, but I'm gonna then use like my family example and my relationship and stuff. And don't get me wrong, guys, I am in a very healthy relationship, but and I communicate very well with my partner and stuff. But it's been rough though, like not my relationship with my partner but with my family, and I think that's kind of where I'm getting a lot of my feelings of just kind of not inadequacy, but I think it is kind of close to that. Like, I just, like I said, I don't feel like people in my life are prioritizing me, or just like, it's more like I don't feel like people care about me, if that makes sense, or like they don't care about me as much as other people. Um, so, and I guess I'll start with that. We'll start with just more so just like art wise and stuff, because like I said, I think that's gonna be easier for me to kind of get into before I start going like full vent mode. Like art wise, like I don't feel like people want to pay me, but like whenever I have the opportunity to have like an art trade, people will jump for that. And I understand that the economy is absolute dog water, and I get that, but sometimes I really wish people valued my art. And I know like people probably do value my art even with an art trade, but I sometimes just feel like people don't value it that much. And to be fair, maybe I'm crazy for asking for like 20 something dollars or something on a design, or maybe more. But no, I get it. The economy's ass and shit, and but it's but sometimes I just feel like people don't value my work just because I'm a fast artist and stuff like that. So, and then I'll see like people get character designs from me, but then they'll like drop they'll get character designs from me when I put them on discount, um or something, and then they'll get like really expensive commissions of those character designs. And I mean, people are allowed to do what they want with their money, but as an artist, I or they'll get it for free, and then they'll wait until they can get the design from me for free, but then they'll like commission somebody to like draw the character and stuff. And it feels really weird to me that people don't want to like pay me for my work. um or like I've been asked kind of, it's I haven't been asked as much as like previous years and previous jobs and stuff, like when I was in college, or um when I actually had time to work on art before my internship. I didn't get as much people who asked to do art trades with me, and it kind of makes me a little bit of uncomfortable to kind of think about it. Um, and I don't really know how to elaborate on this feeling. Um, but that's kind of all I'm gonna say is like I just feel kind of uncomfortable that a lot of people have been asking to do like art trades or stuff. And to be fair, I feel like I have been enabling this behavior though too from people, because I have been allowing like art trade options despite saying, oh, I don't have time. But I think there's a part of me that just feels obligated to make my art more accessible to people. And I really do. I really highly value like accessibility in art. Um but I don't know what I'm going on about, but like I said, I just wish like people would kind of like at least want to like pay for my work or something. I don't know. I get it. The economy's tough, and my style isn't for everybody, and not everybody's going to be willing to drop money on my work or anything. Um, I and I also get that I've been struggling to make anything customized for people. I like I said, I don't have motivation. I don't feel like I have time. I don't have motivation. Um Everything just kind of feels like doo doo, but I'm not gonna lie. Um it's it's not the greatest. It actually feels genuinely awful. Um, but like, and I guess going back to like how this kind of ties in with like that feeling of nobody really caring about me, I guess. And like, and people care, I know people care about me, but like not like caring about me as in like um and like I said, this is a little selfish where it's just like I wish people would kind of prioritize me, if that makes sense. um but it's not so strangers on the internet that I care as much as my family, and I think a lot of it does come down to like insecurities about my own relationships and stuff. And I think that's why I feel such a way when it comes to like people not wanting to like commission me or pay for my designs, but they'd rather get it for free or art trade or something. And I think a lot of my feelings ultimately also stem from, the feelings of being invalid in my own family structure. Um and I've been like ridiculously I've been like calling whenever I call my dad or like text my mom or something. I've learned that I don't know if my brother has found a job yet. I fucking hope so, but I learned that one of my older brothers he doesn't have a job, and he got like he no longer lives in an apartment on his own or anything. Um, he and his girlfriend like moved out and everything like that, but um, he's now living at my mom's place, and he's living in basically what it used to be my room. Um, I'm like I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm like terrified that he like took some of my stuff and resold it. I'm not gonna lie, because he keeps trying to find stuff. Like I'm paranoid because he kept asking my little brother and I if we had Pokemon cards and that if he could sell it, and we're like, no, bro. Like that is we're not. No, I genuinely hate that. I actually makes me so mad that he even asked. That he keeps trying to sell possessions, let alone other people's possessions, um, because he's broke and he has no job. And I get it. I know how hard it is as a person who's disabled, because my brother, he's also like has like mental disability as well and disorder and stuff like that. And I understand it's hard. It's really hard to live out there. But at the same time, I like when I was talking, I was like texting my mom and stuff, and she was like, "You." She when I was telling her that I'm coming back home and stuff, that I didn't want to pursue like working for this company in Florida, and I genuinely would rather work for myself than work for a company as an artist. And my mom, I I feel like I scared her probably, but because I feel like a lot of people have been kind of told in their lives that they need to work for a big company, they need to like, work their ways up the corporate ladder and stuff, and and then making big monies. And I'm just like, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to work for a big company. And it's not that I'm lazy or anything, it's just that um I genuinely, it just doesn't align with my goals in my life and what I want to do. And and that could just be me being like, I don't want to like I don't want to work for somebody, if that makes sense. And knowing myself, I wish I had the consistency so I could work for somebody else, but I don't. Um even working with my YouTuber client, I struggle with communication on my own end. I feel like, and I try to be as communicative as possible, but I think I've just hit the biggest wall of burnout in the world because of my internship, and it's a full, and the internship is like a full-time job, but I don't I'm doing like 30 to 50 hours, and I know that's a crazy range, but 30 is basically a minimum, so that's like um that's an average job, and I know that's like normal for people, and it's unfortunate that that is the normal. And I I get so I think I get so upset that every time I complain about working that many hours, people are like, this is normal for people. I'm like, I get upset because I think it makes me upset because that is the normal. Um, I'm not upset because I'm doing the normal. I'm upset because that is the normal, and it's so like anti-human almost, if that makes sense. It's so grueling. It's so um soul crushing, honestly. And I know like a lot of people in my life are like, congrats, you're working at this big company, um you're gonna wanna like work your way up, you're gonna love to work for this company and stuff. uh I should just let the cat out the bag, because it's like in my YouTuber live stream, I think one of the people in the live stream like doxed where I work, but I work at the Walt Disney World park, but I work in the food service, um, and people think I can move upwards in the company art wise, and I'm just like, I genuinely don't want to work for Disney. Like, I don't want to work for the Disney company after I'm done. Um it's not that it's bad. It's just that, like I said, I just don't want to work for a studio or company. Like, even applying to game studios, I don't even think I want to work there. I just want to make my own games, like, and people in my life tell me that I can learn so much from working in an industry, and I'm like, yes, but at the same time, I I don't really want to work in an industry though. And I know it's like some people just don't have a choice. I have the luxury of having a choice of what I want to do. But it's like I said, it's so soul crushing. Everything feels so heavy right now. And I know this, and I'm gonna have this tie back to like how this makes me feel like I'm being sidelined, um but okay, so the reason why I wanted to rant about the job stuff is just because I'm going to play, because my idea was to come back home and get an apartment and kind of live on my own, as well as like, do like a blue collar job while I work on my game, um and such. Um and I was thinking that I would like make devlogs and stuff, and do like YouTube or Twitch on the side while I work on my game. I don't have a powerful enough computer for that, but I plan to save enough to where I can do that. Um but back to, I guess, my brother, I guess the thing is that I feel frustrated because my family, I know he's have gone through a lot. He's been through a lot, but I sometimes just don't feel like I've ever really been given the same graces um as my brothers who have trouble. Um and it's solely because like I should just figure it out. I should just suck it up. And I think, and I mean, I've been doing that. I have been sucking it up. I have been figuring it out. I mean, even if I do something last second and stuff, but I feel like everything that I do is just like it feels like everything that I do is like a moral failing. And it's no matter how hard I try, how hard I try to do something, how hard I work, I feel like everything is kind of my fault. Um, Even though in my heart I know it's not, but I think from just kind of figuring it out myself, doing things myself, I am the where I am because I I think people in my life try to push me and it just doesn't go out the way that they think it should. I feel like other people give themselves credit for my successes. And I don't give myself enough credit for my own successes. So, and it's been a thing that I've been struggling with, like especially imposter syndrome, and I think that's also another reason why I don't feel like I can work for a company because I think I would struggle with too much imposter syndrome. Um, it and I want to work with something that I can do on my own time and something that makes me feel comfortable. But yeah, I keep avoiding my family thing and I think it's a little bit just because like it's a sensitive thing and as I talk more about it, I try to be compassionate and empathetic, but sometimes I just want to think about myself. Um I I feel like I'm kind of a people pleaser and I want to make everyone happy and I know I can't make everyone happy. And that's something that I still struggle with that I still try to um, deal with and handle. So, um, but I guess the thing is that my and I guess for context, my brother is like 27. I'm 23, and I know he needs help to like get back up and going again. But when I was texting my mom about like coming back because I because I don't want to really work for Disney and stuff and I didn't really want to like keep looking for jobs around Florida. I genuinely don't want to live here. There's just every second I live here, every like I just find out something more terrible is wrong. Like I don't want to live here because of the politics. I don't want to live here um because of like gas prices or or like food or this or that and the community like oh my gosh like I I must say this. I wish I could find more Asians. I wish I could find more like people of color here. Um, and don't get me wrong, there probably are those communities here. Um, but I'm not finding them fast enough compared to like where I used to live. Um, and my friends are back in my home state. I know I have new friends with like the program but I genuinely I just don't want to live here. I think that's it. That's literally what I've learned. I don't want to live here. I don't want to. I I think it's just that I feel like people or other people are pushing me towards what I want, rather than I pushing myself towards what I want. And what I mean what I want, I mean maybe it's what people think that I want. I gotta blow my nose, guys. I'll be right back. but yeah, I think I'm kind of just rambling at this point. This is Luke crying on stream and not really sure what they're talking about half the time. Um, but yeah, I think a little bit of it is like the mix of the feeling that my family kind of prioritizes my brother, like, and I know he's like struggling and stuff, and I get that, and probably they probably see me as more capable of doing what I'm trying to do, and yeah, and I just I'm so stressed. And I know I have a problem with trying to ask for help, but every time I feel like I ask for help, it gets shut down, and I feel I guess I'm too scared to ask for help because every single time I've asked for help in my life, I feel like I get shut down, and that um I feel as if I get shut down. I feel as if like nothing like comes out of it. And at that point, I should just figure it out myself. And weirdly enough, when I don't ask for help and I figure it out myself, it works out. Um and it's not that I'm good at figuring stuff out. It's that I think I repetitively bash my head against the wall until it works. Or I guess I just feel like I always get lucky and something works out for me rather than I work to get to that position. So, blowing my nose. Pardon. Like I said, I'm gonna private the stream or something. So, or make it unlisted to only people on my Discord server, which is fine. This is kind of a very personal thing, but I just kind of needed to pour my heart out because I I feel like I've just been kind of keeping this all in. Um, and I guess I feel like the best course of action for me to do this is to pour my heart out on the internet. Um, so but yeah, I I don't know. I'm such a mess right now. It's kind of not even funny. Um, hold on. I actually realized I didn't even send this to the Discord servers. I sent the old one that got fucking obliterated. Oop. um, um, hold on. Work their ways. It's a sense. Yeah. So I think I think a lot of my pain in this like vent stems from my family. I I genuinely like and I don't know what I expect of them to do because I don't even know what I expect from myself. So it's like, and I think a lot of it just wants I just want to be seen. I guess that's probably it. I just want to feel like I'm being seen. Um, that somebody cares about me. Um, and like and I feel bad. I don't want to call out my dad like this, but like the only person who has been like actually calling me and reaching out is my dad. But when I call my dad, he calls me when he's in the car, when he's doing something, when not like giving me his full attention, like or something. And I wish I would get that. But to be fair, my siblings don't even get that either from him, and I wish that I would get that attention in that way though. So, but if my siblings aren't even getting that, it's whatever. Um, yeah, I feel really awful ranting to my partner all the time about this. And and when I talk to my partner, I think one of the things that he always tells me, he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad my family's not dysfunctional." Like, and I'm like, "Wow, thanks." I love him to death, but I think about that and I'm like, "Wow, I I really wasn't really treated right." Like I think about that a lot, but I don't want to confront any of my family members about it because I'm scared. I don't know what I'm scared about. Uh, but I think there's there's a lot of levels to my pain, and I think some of it stems from the fact of um, obligation as an adoptee, that my family adopted me, that I can't complain too much. And when I was younger and stuff went down and stuff like that, like um I mean, I remember there were times that my family would legitimately, like, they wouldn't legitimately, but I know they joked about like returning me back to China stuff. It's really harsh. I haven't confronted any of my family members about that. Um, and I know they recognize. I remember when I was a kid, like my family, when my brothers told me that, my parents are like, they're just kidding. They're teasing. We would never. And I'm like, but I think the thing is that my parents even shared that joke and sentiment at one point too. And I and my childhood is so blurry because it's and I think a lot of it is I try to put it in the back of my mind because it's it's a weird way in how people treat adoptees. And I think a lot of, oh my god, so much of my trauma stems from like autism and um being autistic and also like being an adoptee. um yeah. Oh my god, I love being autistic, guys. I love being autistic. Please. But I love autism, guys. I fucking love being autistic. I love being taken advantage of. And oh my god, guys, I need to like chill out. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what to talk about. I know I was talking about feeling inadequate and stuff like that, but I don't know, I guess. Um, I think a lot of it just stems from my family. I I don't really. Okay, I'm just gonna send this to this person, and we're gonna kind of keep my canvas blank for a second, while I work on some things on Toy House real quick, and I'll keep continuing my vent, I guess. But like I said, a lot of it is just kind of coming from I'm stressed. Tomorrow I'm gonna be looking at apartments with my friend, because I want to move out as soon as possible, and I want to get my own place too. Like I want to get a job and stuff, like a new job. But I don't know if I want to get a new job. I might just go back to my old job, which was Dick's Sporting Goods, and which I'm thinking, and then I'll find a new job from there on out or something. And um, but I don't know what I'm also thinking. I have so much on my mind. And it's not that I think, okay, back to my brother living with my parents, and I think my mom's like, "Where are you gonna live? Because like your brother's here and you can't live here cuz he's here and stuff." And I think to me, I was just like, that's ridiculous. He's like 27. He should have his own place by now. I know he needs a place to crash and stuff. But why am I being the one being kicked out? And to be fair, I bet my family expected me to find a place and live in Florida and find or at least find a job opportunity with this opportunity, as I went here for an opportunity, but I haven't been able to meet connections or make those connections, um and I and it kind of does, like, and I think it's funny because I talked to my YouTuber client, funny enough. I know this is kind of off topic, but I was talking with him and he said, like, oh, I feel kind of down because it would feel like you're going backwards again. And I'm like, it kind of does feel like I'm going backwards, um but at the same time I realized I genuinely just don't want to be here. I don't want to live in Florida for various reasons. Um I don't want to work for a studio or a company. I want to work for myself. I want to do my own thing. I want to make my own game. And the stuff that I want to do, every time I talk about my game, people are like, why don't you pitch that to a studio? And I'm like, they would suck the soul out of my entire concept. If even if they think, even if they like it just a smidgen. Um, and I just don't want my artistic idea and concepts to be dirtied like that, if that makes sense. And I don't even think my game's going to be a hit game. I just want to make art for the sake of art. And that's something that just, it doesn't feel like people are doing that anymore. So, but, and I know a lot of people worry about me because they're like, what are you going to do to make money? What are you going to do to, like, do stuff? And I get that. And I understand that it's kind of worrying to, like, I get it. It's worrying for people. They probably worry about me and stuff like that. Um, but I but I also just I really just want to be able to do my own thing. I really want people to kind of believe that I could do what I could do. I feel like I have proof of concept. Like I've done freelance work on my own. I've been able to, like, get people interested in projects and ideas that I've made. I've made a literal game in college, and people still don't trust that I can do stuff. But I think a little part of it is that, and my own imposter syndrome, that I'm not good enough, that I don't know what I'm doing, that I need to learn more, that I need to do this and that to get to where I want to be. But at the same time, like, yes, I should be actively working towards that, but at the same time, I think I want to just do it myself and just figure it out as I go. Um, all these artists and creators I look up to, they just do that. But, and I don't know what they're going through. I don't know how this artist, what they're doing. And we all have hardships of our own. And I feel like whenever I complain, I come from the place of privilege and stuff, and that's another thing I think about. Like whenever I complain about stuff, I'm like, this is such a nothing burger issue in the long term scheme of it. Like we live in a floating rock in space. But I guess there's people who just want to have the illusion of control and power. So now we live under certain systems and stuff, and now we have capitalism and evil trillionaire billionaires who hoard money like a dragon, and nobody gets anything. But yeah, and if I sound stuffy, it's because I cried, so now my nose is all plugged. So my bad. Now I'm gonna sound more nasally. Um, but yeah, I guess in my life I just feel like I've come second, and I think it's because of my own doing, but also because of how people treat me. Um, I think it's also a little bit might be of the abandonment as an adoptee. There's so many different aspects, I feel like, but I noticed this. I think it stems from my family, but I noticed, like, nothing nothing wrong with anything in my relationship or anything like that. Um, that like, I mean, I communicate well with my partner, and we're working on things, and I think we're doing good. But there was a night where I think I kind of crashed out on my partner, and it was just because like I was talking about my family and stuff, and then he had to leave the call. I also had to leave the call too. I had to go like take a shower and stuff, but um and I had to eat, but I was really upset and I wanted to stay on call with him, but he was like I have to go play. His friend wanted to play a game with him and stuff, and I just left the call. I was really tired and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I don't mind when he wants to play games with his friends and stuff, and we already talked about this and stuff, and I was probably pretty selfish as well on my end. I feel like I sometimes I don't feel like I'm selfish in areas where I should be, and then areas where I shouldn't be, I'm selfish. But that's a different story for another day. But and I think I had such a visceral reaction. I think it's just because it stems from my family, and I just um but it's just that I wish people would prioritize me rather than just kind of like I that me be an afterthought. And this is an issue I had with like my ex relationship that I had with my ex, who I felt like I was a side character in my own relationship and everything was about him. And I could never connect with him, and it was interesting. It was its own thing too. Um, I always feel like I'm the one reaching out to people, and I haven't had anybody reach out to me and it'd be like, "Oh, Lou, do you want to go hang out? Lou, do you want to do this?" And I mean, and only recently I felt a little bit of that with some of my coworkers and friends from my latest internship, where people genuinely reach out and want to hang with me. Um, and I guess maybe the few other times is when I was in college with my two friends. But to be fair, I feel like I was still the one making the initiative of going to hang out and stuff. But they still keep in contact with me. They still reach out to me, so I feel loved. um, yeah. Um, but I don't know. I just I'm okay. I'm just tired now, but because I woke up early and I'm like, ooh, time to vent. And I don't even think I'm gonna send this to my family members or anything. But so I think for now, I'm going to. I should eat something. I'm starved. Um, and yeah, I should eat something. I've kind of just been rambling on a blank screen. I'm sorry, y'all. It did help me like figure out my thoughts and stuff, but yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream just because like this has been a lot, and I don't really want to burden anyone with my stream or anything. Um, and I don't know, maybe I'm just tired, y'all, and I'm just really stressed. I feel like I haven't been able to work on a lot of art stuff just because I've been stressed. I've been stressed with my family stuff, and I need to like make a dentist appointment. Like I need to do all my health checkup stuff, and I've I've been neglecting myself. I've been neglecting um just a lot of stuff just because I'm not doing mentally so well. And it's hard for me to say that I because I want to say like I'm doing great. I'm having a lot of fun, but I feel like I'm just working to work. And and to be fair, I did get this internship to hopefully get somewhere, but I don't really feel like I'm getting anywhere. And I don't really and I think I just realized that I guess the whole thing out of this is that it has helped me realize what I want to do more and where I want to go and what I want to do. Um, but I do feel like this internship has been prolonging like what I wanted to do and where I've wanted to be. But I'm trying my best to save money, but I have such an impulsive spending habit. It's really bad. That's why I take on commissions. I do stuff, and that's probably why I'm complaining about people not buying my commissions and stuff. Is because I have impulsive behaviors. Thank God I don't drink alcohol or like anything like that. It's such a saving grace because that stuff is so expensive. Um, but not like spending money on Pokemon cards or silly little trinkets also isn't expensive because I love doing that. Um, but yeah, uh, autism. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna leave the, the vet with is autism and gay. I'm gay and autistic, and I'm also Asian and adopted. But I'm not saying any of these are an excuse for why I feel like doo doo butt or like why I'm not working hard. I try my best to work hard. And if I just don't see anything come to fruition, it kind of makes me want to give up. And that's what happened when I was applying to jobs, and my family's like, well, you have interviews, so you're making progress. And I'm like, no, I'm not making progress. It doesn't feel like I'm making progress. I'm also fighting like 2 million different AI algorithms and stuff, and I just don't want to work in this kind of like economy, especially like if nobody wants to hire. So, and I don't know if my parents understand that sentiment. That it's just yeah. Before I go on another tangent, I think a lot of it's just miscommunication and misunderstanding, and I know a lot of it is just I have to genuinely work and pull myself up by my bootstraps and stuff. But talking to a lot of my friends online who are also disabled and stuff, a lot of them are actually unemployed, and I'm probably a part of that smaller percentage of autistic people that actually are employed and can hold a job. But I'm scared I won't be able to hold a job for long because I have burnout and stuff, and I struggle so much mentally. I think I get to a mental breaking point like this where I just feel like I'm in a monotonous area and I start having panic attacks before work. It's not good. And I was told by my mom that it was normal to have panic attacks before work, and I'm like, no, mom, actually, that's not normal. And my mom also has ASD, so my adoptive mom, by the way, guys. And I'm like, no, that's actually not normal. We should not be getting panic attacks before work. Oh, goodness gracious, everything's so messed up. I'm just so tired. And yeah, anyways, I'm gonna send this picture to my client and I'm gonna end the stream. So, I hope everyone does well, and I'm just gonna make this stream unlisted so only people on my Discord can watch it. So, yeah, anyways, bye bye.